Hey, all the people in all the places. It's Training Tuesday. We're live right now. I'm glad that you're here. My name is Susie Ann Castle. Every Tuesday, I jump on for 10 minutes or less and do some hot tips training on productivity and mindset and strategy to make your life more in aligned, right? And who doesn't want that, right? We have all these things coming at us. We really need some alignment in our world. And so I am excited to be here. I'm a possibility coach and trying to help dreams come to life, right? Let's get them off the shelf. Let's make meaning in this world. Okay. So, what are we doing today? Well, today we're talking about how to effectively do a weekly goal check in with ourselves. So, if you are here live, drop a comment. Let me know that you're here watching live. Hey, LinkedIn. Hey, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the places. Thanks for being here. If you're catching it on replay, totally awesome. Hit me up. Hashtag replay. Glad to see you. I respond to every single comment myself. So, let's dive in, right? So, do you do a weekly check in? Like, let me know in the chat, yes or no. Do you do a weekly check-in? This is really about the art of goal getting. This has nothing to do with setting goals. I mean, it kind of does. People talk a lot about setting goals, but I'm trying to disrupt the industry to talk more about getting after your goals. And part of that is literally a review that you do with yourself. So, first things first, we want to revisit those goals that we said were important at the beginning of the week. So, first things first, do you even do that? Do you take time on whatever day you choose over the weekend, Monday morning, Sunday night, whatever that looks like for you, however you start your week? Some of you started on a weekend, some of you start midweek, whatever that looks like. Do you take just a moment and think, hey, self, what's most important to be working on this week? Do you do that? Because that's the first way, right? You have to know what target you're trying to hit. So let's say that you do that. You've set aside time on your calendar. Go back to some of my posts earlier this month, and I've been talking about goal getting all month long. And that's your roadmap, right? That's the way you're going to show up in the world, right? So, okay, you go self, looking at what I said my roadmap was, that I worked on it. I had time set aside on my calendar. Now you ask yourself, all right, did I meet this at a low level? Right. So, one thing I do is I set a low, a medium, and a high level every week. Like, what would it look like to reach this goal minimally? What feels pretty comfortable to meet my goal, slight stretch, and then what seems like really, really super high, like out there in space, right? So I first thing I do is I review. Did I make my low, my medium, or my high goal for the week? It's just a yes or a no, or in which one of those did I? Right? So each week, when you are setting aside your plan, you want to be sure to do those three different targets. This way, you stay on track and you give yourself some wiggle room, but it still allows you to push effectively on your goal getting strategy. Let's face it, like you may have really good intentions and things are rocking and rolling, and an emergency happens with your family or your pets or a loved one. Well, then hopefully you can still make your low goal and be present for them. So that's what this does. It still tells your brain you're effectively goal getting without saying, I either met or I didn't, right? So giving yourself those kind of three containers is super helpful. So then, as you know what you did or didn't do, then you want to do some reflection time. So, where did I make progress? Right? Is there a task that didn't get completed that definitely needs to be on my list of to dos this week? So that way you have some accountability with yourself and some self awareness and knowing where did I do that? Right? What makes me effective in my goal getting? Is it being ruthless with my schedule? Is it getting up every 90 minutes or so and getting some oxygen moving? Everyone is kind of wired differently. So this in that reflection piece allows you to kind of see where I made my goal, what was true in that moment. Where I'm not making my goal, what also was true in that moment. Okay. So that accountability piece is really important. So in that reflection, you look at yourself and you're like, okay, what worked this week? Why was that so? What didn't work this week? Notice this isn't about shaming, right? This is literally about I am learning constantly how to be more effective when life throws things at me, right? So, also in that space, you want to be sure to celebrate. So, where did I celebrate or did you celebrate at all? And it can be so small. You know, that if you're with me ever, I talk a lot about celebrating, right? So, we want to be celebrating every win. We want to learn from our challenges. You could celebrate, I learned who not to trust. If that was part of your goal getting strategy and it was dismal, you just learned something about yourself. And so, remember, in that, so we've gone through like 3 steps already. So, in that reflection piece, be sure, besides knowing what worked well and what didn't and why, Did I celebrate? Did I learn? And what does that look like? Then the next phase is we want to take time to adjust and then refine. So, what does it look like this upcoming week? What can I feasibly accomplish? Remember that low, medium, high we just talked about. And how will I build upon the successes of this prior week? And oh gosh, is there already an obstacle I see? Because in that moment, it's so crucial to go, what do I need to alter in my schedule? You don't wait, right? A lot of times we know, oh, I overbooked myself, or oh, suddenly now I've got to like head to the dentist, or whatever that might be. Now is the time, not in the moment when you're like, oh God. Like a lot of times, you know in advance where you need to already zhuzh things up. So, in this little reflection piece that I'm teaching you to do on a weekly basis, it will keep you more effective. So, when you're adjusting and you're refining, what you're doing is you're really allowing yourself flexibility in that moment, kind of resilient goal getting strategy, because life is unpredictable and goals may need to be adjusted on the way. But why would you ever want to wait till the end of the month to realize why you didn't meet something? When you're doing a weekly check in, you stay adaptable. You are open to change. You can quickly kind of turn as you need to. That's why incorporating a weekly check in can really allow you to quickly make the decisions, quickly make transitions before they get too far gone. So I've gone through a bunch of steps already, and I have one more tip and trick for you. Finally, in this, and by the way, this should only take about 5 minutes. Okay. I want you to set yourself up for success by scheduling a specific action, a specific deadline for each goal that you're working on. When you do that, you're telling your brain, hey, brain, this is super important. And so if it's a really big thing you're working on, that's a monthly, that's a quarterly. Weekly are smaller. So when you know what your big things are, you can get what gets me traction towards that this week. And you break that down into a manageable task to ensure your progress. And that task has to show up somewhere on your calendar. You know that, right? So there you have it. This is a comprehensive weekly goal check-in process that you can use at any time to keep you on track and keep you motivated towards your dreams. Now, these Training Tuesdays, I do them every Tuesday about this time on this platform where you're watching it. And you can always catch up if you're not really sure you've missed them. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll drop some information in right now if you'd like to do that. And there is a ton of information there. And I hope that you take care of that. So that's what I have for you today. Implement a weekly check-in. It will allow you to be more effective in your alignment and your goal getting. Glad you were here. I'll see you next week.